over the last couple weeks, even since that post I made since my last podcast, I've really been seeing how being a well-rounded individual means that you're taking care of not only your finance, you're taking care of your health, you are taking care of your mind, knowledge. You're also taking care of your spirit, the people and environments that you put yourself in or keep around. All of that is very important to being stable and trying to achieve the life that you want, or at least going after it. Hello, everyone. It is Easter Sunday upon this recording. I want to wish you all a happy Easter. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you've had a fantastic weekend. And yes, I will admit now in front of all of you that it's been a couple weeks since my last podcast. It's probably been about 4 weeks at this point, an entire month. And long story short, a lot of things in life happen, but I will share a few of them with you. To be honest with you, I found. Well, I even made a post on Instagram about this, so I let it out. I didn't just keep this to myself. This little epiphany I had, but just like anyone else, there were things that I really didn't like about myself, and more so the fact that not just things that I wanted to change, not just things that I could possibly just get by on, just forget about it. It's never going to happen. I really knew the person that I was and the person that I wanted to become, and just over the past couple years, I had just been avoiding a lot of the foundation work to get me to where I needed to be. And also on top of that, at least being, a black man in America, I never had conversations with myself about my own emotions, I would say. I never really asked how I felt today. Why did that make me angry? Why did I feel this way about that thing? And when anyone else came to me and asked how was I, it was always just, I'm all right, I'm okay. And that's really all my answer was. I might say, good to be alive and blessed, have no complaints in life. But to be honest, going forward, and hopefully this helps some of you out there, you need to be, or at least we should all be, a bit more introspective going forward. There's always events that happen in life. There's always people that are gonna, show up, come and go, and we really need to be honest with ourselves about how things affected us, whether we're growing through these situations, whether they're similar or not, whether they're even repetitive. We should definitely take some time out to at least evaluate ourselves. Some of you probably are familiar with mind, body, soul, spirit. We have to take care of all of that. And while this channel primarily is about finances, over the last couple weeks, even since that post I made since my last podcast, I've really been seeing how being a well-rounded individual means that you're taking care of not only your finance, you're taking care of your health, you are taking care of your mind, knowledge. You're also taking care of your spirit, the people and environments that you put yourself in or keep around. All of that is very important to being stable and trying to achieve the life that you want, or at least going after it. So just want to share that with you all. Hopefully this helps some of you. The reason I made that post was because a friend of mine recently did the same thing. And while his was a bit more detailed and it was a couple stories long, actually. Mine was just one single post. I saw that that inspired me to share what I was going through. So hopefully me sharing this with you all does the same thing. But we're going to go into the podcast now. And I just want to start off with welcome back to the Checkup Podcast, where we discuss and review our alignments with our goals and aspirations. And yes, those goals and aspirations, I've never used those interchangeably, so hopefully no one says, oh, they're the same thing. But aspirations, hope, desires, wants, goals, something you actually strive for, you aim at it. At least the difference between those two in my eyes is, intent, where you actually put your effort. So that might be the new catchphrase we're going on. Let me know if you like it or not. But on my YouTube and on my Instagram page where I have all of this, I think even on my Red Circle account, which is where I'm distributing my podcast currently, the first sentence is here to inspire and manifest the path to wealth. And while I do generally, well, why I definitely want to be, uh, I definitely want to attain generational wealth. I'm, and even it's even in my name, JayAbundant. I'm saying that, you know, how all these other aspects of life, I have to be abundant in those as well. I have to find people who are willing to give and not just take, whether that be, emotional stability, whether that just be actual, resources, your time, possibly funds, of course. I definitely need to take care of my health more. It's been a couple years since I've been to the doctor. I will say that now. And hopefully when I go back, it's all only good news. However, even in this time of my life, I've been trying to go through the Mediterranean diet. And even though there's, people choose Mediterranean, people choose vegan, some people don't diet at all. Um, Either way, just looking at it, I've realized that there's no one solution to even dieting because we're all such different individuals. And even before realizing that, I just said, all right, I'm still not taking care of myself properly. I've been living by myself for 2 years, mostly eating out, cooking here and there. Some of you might know. I've been trying to cook healthily as well, trying to maintain my diet as much as possible. That also helps me keep my budget's a bit, on the good side, not eating out entirely too often. But, fruits, veggies, that's something I probably never even bought for like the first year and a half of me living by myself. And I probably only started doing that sometime last fall. Yeah, hands up, hands up. I that's not good on me. I am young for now, but it won't always be that way. This metabolism won't always be this fast, and I definitely need to make sure I am putting myself on the right path to when things change. Hopefully, I don't see much of a difference in my life because, just as I said before, if I do become ill, if I do become sick, if I do end up injuring myself because I'm not physically fit or because my immune system isn't as strong as it needs to be, that's going to affect whatever way I make money. And some of you may not resonate with that as well. Hopefully, we can do all the side hustles we want. We can go after the career that we really, really want as well. But if we're not taking care of ourselves, it's very possible that we could end up, not being able to make ends meet. And I'm only realizing that now, and I'm just thinking to myself, I don't want that. I want to be, I want to prevent that as much as I can, even if it's low risk, even if it's something that may never come. Even if my genes are, I'm a Taurus, so even if I'm strong as an ox in my 50s, 60s, and 70s, why wait until, the what if happens? That's another reason why I said for myself, I don't want to just be a millionaire. I want to be wealthy, not just rich, rich today, wealthy tomorrow. Some of you might have heard that. Well, that's not exactly how it is, but you can be rich today, but if you're not rich tomorrow, that's not really a good thing. But even in that case, I want to be able to, not only just maintain a lifestyle, but if that lifestyle revolves around me being healthy, me continuing to progress, professionally, socially as well, there are costs associated with that. If I want to raise a family, there are costs associated with that. And if I want to put them in a good environment, allow them to go to good schools, if they're if that's their choice, for college or anything like that, or if I just want to even just move to a better location, it could be another state, it could be another country, whichever. I want to be able to have options, and that's why I began my podcast with talking about a budget. I started talking about investing, and I guess the thing for this podcast is not why aren't you investing, but what are you really investing in? And that's not just in terms of finance. The past couple weeks, I've really started to see exactly. I've really started to see exactly where I want to align myself, and even going to church today, which is probably the first time in probably 5, 6, 7 months. I'll be honest. It's a little bit of a drive for me, but it's never that hard. I'm really starting to see the people in my life that have been there, and they're here for a reason. And I'm also starting to see the people in my life that make themselves present for me, even when I don't ask them to. And I'm really seeing how that I haven't been making the most of those situations and those individuals. And I really think I owe it to them because I haven't gotten here by myself. There's definitely no way that I've done that. But I don't want to just say that, oh, okay, people come and go, that's the end of it. I do find myself having a hard time holding on to people, and that's one of the things I didn't like about myself. But it was more so in the fact that it negatively impacted, my relationships with those people, whether or not they were still around or not. It negatively impacted my own thoughts, and I'm just going to share this with you all now. I am a mostly negative thinker. Left to my own accord, no outside voices, no sound. I'm kind of a ticking time bomb up here in the head, and that's not a good thing. And I've been working on it for a couple years now. But that's why my extroverted personality kind of tends to go towards, all right, who's available, who's free. But now I'm trying to focus on, all right, who's good for me, not just who can be there at this point in time, who's free right now, who's interested in the same things. I want to be really looking forward to, all right, who can I build a team with? Who is really on the same path that I'm going on? And then that's in total, that's a lot less emotions wasted. That's a lot less time and money, especially wasted on individuals that just really may not stick around for the long term. And I'm really seeing that I need to make that change as well for myself. In the past 2 or 3 years, I've made a few choices that I'm not proud of. But here today, I guess, on not even just on Easter Sunday, but here in April of 2022, about to go into May, which I will have a birthday and turn 27. Ooh, I'm getting there. I just want to tell you all now that I'm going to be sharing more about my personal life with you in the podcast as well, but we're going to stick to the finances. We're going to stick to personal development. We're going to stick to being in alignment with our goals, as I said before, which hopefully the slogan catches on again. Let me know if you like it or not. So anyway, how are we investing these days? How are we doing it? Again, mind, body, soul, 1, 2, 3, we have all of that. We have our finances. That could be 4, but I guess we can even stop at those 4. But funny thing is, I said I had podcast number 4, which is this podcast, all kind of wrapped up in, how can I put this? It was I had it scripted already, and the script is sitting here in front of me, and I'm just ignoring it entirely. The funny thing is that the title for this episode was supposed to be "Knowledge is Potential Power," and that's actually a quote from Napoleon Hill. It goes in lines with a few things I might have mentioned before, like the growth mindset. The definition here is the belief that you can develop your natural abilities by working hard, listening to advice from others, etc. Simple example is not I can't do this, but instead responding, how can I do this? And I really think that's important here because I do believe that, at least, in the culture that I grew up in, a lot of us, or a lot of those individuals, tend to see people in positions of power, or just positions where they have options. They have, they have a greater ability to, make mistakes, or be wasteful in a sense of it, and still continue on with their normal lives, like it was a drop in the bucket. And because of that, I think a lot of the responses to the people with those types of lifestyles are, they're lucky. I can never get there. That's something that they were probably born into. They know the right people. And I started to break down each of those words to really figure out, what those words really meant, because I've even been guilty of doing the same thing just in casual conversation. And the reason why that's bad is that the words you speak actually have power, whether you think about it or not. It could be simple as mentioning the right thing around the right person at the right time, and guess what? You now suddenly have a new job opportunity. You suddenly have someone you can start doing a business activity with. It could even be finding, your future partner. There's a lot of that, and some people would even say, okay, yeah, that's luck, but you can affect your own luck. You can manifest things into your life, and it really starts by speaking it out loud. And that's what I've been doing this weekend, more specifically because I had to go pick up a friend out of Ohio Columbus, Ohio. I live in Chicago. That's a long drive. It was very exhausting, but it was fun on the way back because I wasn't alone. But even just talking to this person, which we haven't really talked in person for like a year and a half, maybe 2 years, it really got to the point where I'm finding more people that again are in alignment with where I want to go, the things I want to see in my life. And being able to talk about these things with these people is again, once again, me manifesting what I want for my life. You don't really need people around to do this. You can just wake up in the morning. You can have a vision board, and kind of, or just write notes in the mirror and just, recite it to yourself. I know some people do that. But really just starting to say, hey, this is where I want to go, saying it out loud, believing it, and then making a change. Um, some of the words that I also looked up in accordance with all that was, wishing, hoping, desire, want, pray, manifest. Again, I had a whole list here. And it's funny because I understand that some people may just, they don't even make that first step. They don't even see themselves in that position. But the easiest thing to do is say, all right, what's my next step? You can always aim, for 100 out of 100. But all right, if you've never, let's say you want to aim for like $100,000 a year. If you've never made 100K, where do you start? Have you made 10? Have you made 20, 30, 40 before? Start from there, baby steps. And when when we say we want things or we desire things, that's, we're speaking it, but we're not giving ourselves, power over it. We're not saying, how do we get there? We're not saying, what do we need to make this happen? And I think that's really important. So because I went to church today, I don't know how often I'm going to do this, but hey, James 2 verse 17, thus also faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. And that's powerful here. Like, again, step one, like you can't just hope you get somewhere. You can't just say, oh, I need to be lucky, or I need to, take my chances here. It's like, no, you actually make a plan for things. You actually go after it. And then even if we go back to simply talking about finances, if you wanted to be, if you wanted to be wealthy, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, wealthy, even if you never reach that goal, as long as you took the financial, as long as you took the foundational steps to get there, you'll probably be better off than had you not made that goal at all and not tried to achieve it. I hope we can all agree on that. So even though I'm saying, all right, I might have my first million somewhere in my 40s. I want to, have this many kids. I want to have a big house over here in this state, that overlooks the water or whatever. If I don't at least, put a path, if I don't at least put a goal, a list of steps, in front of me to at least start trying to achieve that goal, I could be far from it, 10, 20 years from now. And it'll be very unfortunate. Even with saying like, okay, I have a day job, I have my 9 to 5. I could work till I'm 60 and then retire, happily. No issues or anything like that. Hopefully, by then, I have a nice family, and, I'm looking after them and all of that good stuff. Or at least, they'll probably be adults by then. But I'll hopefully still have my spouse, still be in communication with my family, my friends, have my little clique going. But you have to start somewhere. And that's why, at least on this particular, in this particular episode, we want to be multifaceted. So you may not wake up tomorrow and say, all right, let's start here on everything, but you want to at least start somewhere. So for me personally, for my health, all right, I started making smoothies for breakfast and dinner, especially if I didn't want to eat out. And I knew I knew it was going to be very tempted to run to Culver's or Taco Bell or Wendy's or whatever. I make fruit smoothies now. I probably go through 1 or 2 a day. That's a lot more fruit and veggies than I've ever had in my life. I don't know if it's doing anything to my hair, my face, my skin or anything, but I know I need it. I know I need it in my body. I know that it's good for me. I don't need to know exactly what it does. I don't need to know exactly what it's affecting, but hopefully in the long term, I feel better. Like, physically I feel better, but then also just knowing that I'm living a healthy lifestyle. That's something that's very powerful. And just having that in mind, you start saying, all right, well, where else can I get this feeling? So now for the past week and a half, I'd say 2 weeks, I've started to work out now because I want to be toned for, summer. Summer's coming up. There may be some traveling going on. I want to definitely look good. All right, I got to start there. I probably only exercise for like a week. So I'm kind of a week behind, but we're getting on it. And on my personal Instagram, I might be sharing like my little uh, fitness progress on there with photos. So if you if you do end up checking that out, please don't flame me, and hopefully some of you will do it with me. We'll see how it goes from here. Even then, like I post when I do cook, I post that online too. Not because I'm expecting anyone to say, "Ooh, cook for me," but it's more like, "Hey, look what I did. Hey, I'm proud of this." And I do get some messages saying that, hey, yo, that's dope. Hey, yo, you're about health. Hey, yo, you're trying to do fitness. Yo, like it just starts the point of conversation there, other than uh, going on a dating app and saying, so I see your pictures, or oh, I see your job title, or what do you like to do on the weekends? It's something that's, I would say, there's more depth to those kinds of conversations. And so far I like where they go, and I want to keep having them. So I want to keep trying to find people uh, my age, hopefully, but even if they're older or younger, that are just looking in the same places that I am, and hopefully finding people that are in positions that I can look up to. Hopefully, they can mentor me, or hopefully I can mentor others as well. So that's what we're going for there. See, that's mine. But well, I guess for the mine, we're gonna go for mine next. If you haven't seen my previous episodes before, I did say that I have a list of books that I want to start collecting, want to start reading, getting through. The first one, Psychology of Money, is a book that a friend gave me. I'll probably have 20, 30, 40 books in an Amazon cart that are all mindset, business, financial advice. And then I have, or even, social, how to talk to people, how to get your point across, how to fail, even things like that, of that nature. And on the other side, I have a bunch of cookbooks because I want to become, like a pro home chef or something like that. It's just something I want to do now, and I'm going to go for it. But I have found it hard to even open up these books consistently. So a recent friend of mine, that's so far I'm seeing we are definitely in alignment on a lot of things in life. They told me about a book that they're reading. They thought it would be good for me to try it out. I gave them some book recommendations as well. And instead of me buying this book on Amazon, ordering it to my house, and then trying to read it, in my free time at work or at home, I'm just going to open up an Audible account. And that's what my friend uses. And I'm just going to try it out. I mean, I'm spending money on it, so hopefully I would use it. But that gives me even more time to, grow my knowledge, expand my understanding of these topics, and hopefully, plan better. Hopefully, be more knowledgeable about the steps that I'm taking, exactly where they can take me, in the long term and short term in life. And I'm hoping that any of these lessons that I do learn, I'm going to be sharing with you all, because even now I'm listening to my podcast when I'm at home, listening to my podcast in the car. This is just another point in time where I can be learning, where I can be growing, and listening to people who talk about finance, talk about relationships, talk about your fitness goals, even talk about just, replenishing your spirit and your soul. And even then, so a lot of that has to do with, your connections, which you, regardless, I'm not going to say whether you believe in, like, who you believe in, what you believe in. We're all entitled to that. But I mean, to be honest, at this point, I mean, I'm not going to say that any of us, regardless of what the name is, regardless of what your belief is, we all have a connection, a spiritual connection, and we all need to be nurturing that. And while I did say that, I was going to start going to church more, doing my tithes, reading my Bible, I always get sidetracked, and that's actually like a terrible thing to say. But I do catch the services when they stream them live, but I need to put myself in that environment. I need to have those conversations. I need to have those people around me, especially if I really want to, work on my walk with God. I really just need to just strive to be in an environment that is for that kind of communication, is for that kind of growth. And Funny enough, the reason I went to church today is because my friend that I just picked up out of state was like, "Oh, we should go to church tomorrow." As simple as that. Simple as that. A good gesture turns into, a whole, how can I put this? A whole landslide, a whole avalanche of things to come that could just lead you into an entirely different place in life that you didn't expect yourself to be in, or at least didn't expect to come into so soon. And I'm hoping that all these relationships that I'm forming, I'm strengthening, are just helping me to become a better person. And hopefully all those relationships that I was clinging to, the ones that, whether they were or weren't healthy for me, I can really start to see exactly how I can help others that may be in those same situations as me. And technically, this is my first way of doing so. This is my very first way, and we're gonna see where it goes. We're gonna see where it goes. So we have so we went mind, body, soul, finance. Let's get to the finance part, because of course this is the bread and butter of the channel here. But I don't want to. How can I put this? It's not simply, even though I might have said this in the past, it might have turned some of you off. It isn't simply just making more money. It's not simply spending less money, because some people may already be, paycheck to paycheck, at the on the tightrope at the very edges, of the plank, and they can't spend less money. And I mean, really, in that case, the only thing else is to do is find a way to make more. It may be a side hustle. It may be a second job. It may even be going back to school, getting a degree, getting a certification. You could even take classes online these days. But that is also investing in yourself. That is also knowledge. That is also education. And it depends on what you do with it. I've met plenty of people who have college degrees that aren't exactly using them. I've met plenty of people who've got really good college degrees and still didn't even, have a job right after graduation, or even a few months after graduation. So regardless of, what courses you take, what programs you join in, what books you read, what podcasts you listen to, you have to put in the works. Like we said earlier in that verse, you have to put in the effort. You have to put in the work to do it. And you can't just simply want something. You have to actually go after it. And you have to take those steps to make sure that you at least are on the right path. Baby steps matter. And hopefully I'm proof of that. Hopefully I'm sharing all my mistakes. Actually, I have a mistake I haven't even shared with you all that I'm gonna be talking about really soon, that I made in the last month, even with my finances. So again, it's not just spend less money, make more money. Sometimes you can only make more money. For those of you who are living comfortably, who are, living your lifestyles and just moving on, I would ask you now to just look and see where you are, financially. Where are you towards your towards financial freedom? That's even that in itself. Even with the FIRE movement, financially independent, retire early, there are multiple steps that you have to take to get to the very end. And at least right now, in step one, where are you right now? And it's having a budget is not, telling you not to live your life. It's not telling you to, oh, you need to sacrifice what makes you happy. That's not what a budget is. A budget is you yourself saying, hey, I'm going to do this in moderation. Hey, I'm going to do this with my money. That's what a budget really is. It's you having power over your money instead of allowing, your emotions or, that instant gratification to take over and let all this money, go through your debit card, leave your wallet. Hopefully, I pray none of you out here, overspending on your credit cards, because that's just terrible. But even if, like, for those people who are like, hey, I want to get a house, I want to get a mortgage. All right, cool. If it's your first house and you don't have kids, you're not married, maybe that first house can be, maybe you can house hack it. Maybe you can try to get a multifamily unit for your first property and rent out those other units. And guess what? Not have to pay rent at all. At least having that first residence, you can even keep doing it over and over again. You can stop there. And then, have your next house be, your forever home. But I'm trying to build wealth upon wealth. I'm trying to wherever way I can make build my assets up or make income. I want to just elevate it and level it up and level it up and level it up, because I don't want to stop when I feel comfortable. Because if I feel comfortable, then like I did before, I started saying, hey, I like where I'm at. Let me just start saying, oh, this is nice. That's nice. That person's there. That person there. It's like, no, I want to keep elevating it and going up, because there's always someone who has done what I've done and they've done it better. There's always someone who's more knowledgeable about a particular topic or career. And if I don't want to get to their level, then why am I starting at all? So I mean, we'll see what happens later, but for right now, at the beginning of my journey, I want to get to the very top, and I may not want to get there super, super quickly, but I want to definitely know that I'm making the choices that can get me there eventually. So next. I even mentioned this earlier, just having people around that are willing to not just take from you, but also give. That goes into the mentee mentor thing. That could even go towards like your top 5 people. Some of it call it your council, or what is it? If you're a CEO, you have we can call it a council. Your top 5 people. They say like the net worth of your top 5 people around you, like your team, the net worth of those individuals, average it out. More likely that's going to be your net worth. Even where some of those people eventually go in life, that's possibly the place that you'll follow as well, because you're all learning from each other. Most likely you're all attending, and even if you're not intentionally trying to, they're probably picking up on certain habits that they have, and they're picking up on yours. So that's why it's very important to definitely surround yourself around people that, well, maybe you want to be more like, and one expert of another, but definitely not to the point where you just want someone else's life, because that's completely unhealthy. You should definitely be happy to be the person you are, be able to have impacted the people that you have, and if you really want to give back, definitely try to impact even more people in whatever way that you can, whatever skill you have, whatever you're talented at, whatever you're good at. Definitely take that to the next level and just share it with as many people as you can. And that's one of the philosophies that I have. Let's see here. Sorry, we actually had to. My camera had died, so I actually just came back and I was finishing that statement. I had no idea where I was going next. We're going to keep moving on. We're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep pushing. We're still in finances. We're still in finances. So we have your team. We have making money, not making money, moving forward, personal development. But what's next then? What's eventually next? What eventually comes next? And if you haven't, my last podcast episode, I even have a few clips on Instagram. Finding yourself a brokerage account, putting away some money, actually doing the numbers and saying, all right, if I start now, where can this get me? Just putting a little bit of money away here and there. And even so, like I said before, you can take classes, you can listen to podcasts, you can invest in yourself without necessarily, spending enormous amounts of money on courses or one-on-ones or coaches that one may not, well, for one, hopefully they're legit and they're real, but also you shouldn't just be like, oh, okay, this person's where I want to be. Like, how is that person's character? Can you judge that person's character? Is that someone you definitely would want to talk to, have conversations with, or be around? Let's start with that first. Whether before it's even friends, before it's family, before it's these gurus online, are these generally people that you'd actually want to have conversations with and like learn from? Not just because they say, hey, I'm a millionaire, I got you, because some people, one, aren't good at teaching, for one, and then also some people are just in it for the money. Let's be honest here. So we have to be accountable to ourselves, not only to just grow, but also make sure that we learn and grow from the right people, the right circumstances, the right mediums. So definitely keep that in mind. See, I had a few other words on here. We're going to go back to my little list that I had here. Words such as struggle, sacrifice, risk, and insanity. You're going to kind of wonder why I have all of these nestled neatly together. But when I was going through college, I said I struggled. I struggled through college. I changed majors halfway through, but I eventually got out, got a job. I got a job even before I graduated. But Definition of struggle: to try very hard to do something when it's difficult or when there are a lot of problems. I'm going to be honest. I probably didn't try enough. I really honestly probably did not try enough in college, and that's reflected in my performance. Not in like overall. I mean, I could say in general, yes, but certain classes I did well in, certain classes I did not. After changing majors, I definitely found some groundwork, so, something I could latch onto and definitely like improve my GPA. But had I not changed, or even after I changed, I definitely still could have done better. And one of the problems I'm looking at now is that technically in the job that I have now, I'm not sure if this was like right after I got hired in or like sometime before when I was a contractor for this company. My major technically isn't a STEM major. It really isn't. And even I learned maybe later on, right before I graduated, right after I graduated, it's not even like an accredited degree from this university. So while, I could say, boo-hoo me or whatever, I still made it out. I still got internships. I still met the right people. I still made the right connections. I still am at a better position than some of the people I knew right before I graduated or right after I graduated. So even though I can now say no, I didn't really struggle. I definitely could have tried harder, but I now know that when I'm listening to people talk, I have to really be like, oh, okay. Are they just saying this because this is like, a popular word? Is this just part of the culture? Because, some people, and honestly, like, have you ever said that you struggled through something, but really, you really know you could have tried harder? You really know there's another tactic, another way you could have possibly, changed that outcome, and you just, didn't do it, or you didn't, do it effectively. Food for thought. Sacrifice. Like I said before, when I mentioned making a budget, and some people are saying, "Oh, I don't have money. I don't need to budget. I don't have any extra money. Why do I need to worry about a budget?" Simply because maybe one of the reasons you don't have any money is because you don't budget. Now, I do get to where at some point, some people are on like, they're assisted. They have some assisted living expenses, assisted living. Either way, I don't really know. I'm not going into too much detail on this particular individual, but some of their groceries, their money, obviously government money. Some of the groceries weren't. I get that. However, I'm gonna just be honest here. If we're hanging out and we're going out, spending money on like going out, hanging out, having fun, going out to eat and everything, and then all you ever talk about is how you don't have money for things. Eventually, it may not, maybe it's just me, but I don't think I would want to keep hanging out with people who, through every other conversation, the issue is money. And then I'm over here like, well, you did just, and again, we're not saying you have to sacrifice for a budget. You can just moderate. You can do things in moderation. Or if it's something that's unhealthy for you, cut it out entirely. You can, you have the power to do that. Risk comes in where it's like, all right, what is let's say you want to be rich, you want to be wealthy, you want to be popular or whatever. What is the risk you're taking in not making a plan to achieve that goal? Could it be, all right, I could be worth $1 million, or I could be worth maybe 50,000, 100,000? Is it I could be worth 5 million, or it could be broke in debt, because I made this terrible, I was trying to trade options and I was using margin, and I just lost everything. So that's not just like, even right now, like I wouldn't even say like me trying to make the podcast and all these other little online businesses, there's not a lot of risk in them. And if they do work out, they are these particular businesses, they have low expenses, meaning that the income, if I get any from it, is going to be drastically more than anything I've spent to get it started. And while I can say I have these cameras, I have these lights, I set up my whole office here as a studio for music and making videos and streaming, it wasn't for just one particular side hustle or career. I wanted to do a multiple of things and have the ability to do so. And while I can say I've been like streaming online, on Twitch for about a year now, basically, I probably made like $60 or $70, but I'm not going to complain about it because I was going to play video games anyway. I have no problems with it. But now it's like, oh, okay, I'm making a podcast. I have some friends that are kind of into music, so I may get back into music. I have my gear sitting right next to me, right here on my desk. I pulled it out. It's a little dusty, but it's here. And while I may not eventually become a content creator and like leave my job full time or anything like that, these are still all side hustles. These are still all of me trying to learn new skills. These me trying to just make a little extra income on the side, and these are also things that I enjoy doing. So that way I am investing in myself, but I'm also not sacrificing anything other than my time. And I'd rather sacrifice my time to build something than sacrifice my time or money hanging out with people that I shouldn't be hanging out with, or is often, hanging out with them too often. Maybe they're cool people, just, we can moderate people as well. We can moderate people in our lives as well. But yeah, we have to take action. We have to put in the effort, and we can, in some sense, make our own luck that way. I'm not saying I'm going to pop off on YouTube or anything like that, but in a year or two, I mean, maybe I'll start getting some traction. Who knows? Hopefully you all are still here with me whenever that happens. But we can't always say, the life's unfair. We can't always make excuses for other people. And that's another thing I don't know, maybe it's some of these individuals that I've in certain conversations with have been older than me, but I don't like when people make excuses for other people. And I don't care whether it's rich people, whether it's politicians, whether it's your uncle, your auntie twice removed. Like, we don't need to give people excuses. Just be like, what would you do in that particular situation? And you may think I'm going off topic here, but I'll be honest. I can say, well, oh, sorry. I was going way too fast. All right. So we can say, all right, certain people make choices to, they live certain lifestyles, they spend their money a certain way. And then we can even say like, oh, okay, well, here's a better example. There's a book called The Millionaire Next Door. And while I haven't read the book, what I've heard about is simply that we have ordinary people, teachers, doctors, whatever career you want, that no one would ever know that they are wealthy because they have normal lives. They live normal lives. They live below their means. One of the aspects of having a good budget. And the thing is that you can always have an opinion on somebody, but until you're in their shoes, until you've like made the choices that they have made, which you can't recreate someone else's life. There's no reason to say, oh, well, they got here because of that, or I can't do this because, they're over here somewhere I can't get to, or even that, oh, okay, these people are making these poor decisions because this is all they know. And, there is some sense to your environment. You do learn from your environment. So if you're in a bad environment, you're just going to make those choices. You're going to make those decisions. But that means that as individuals, if we want to see, our culture, our people, make it out or grow, we have to be willing to reach our hands out to them. We have to be willing to pull people to us. We have to be willing to go and talk to people maybe who don't talk like us or look exactly like us or dress how we do. But we need to be able to adapt and communicate with them so that, hey, we can pull more people over to the winning side. We can even say, hey, I mean, we can be in person, we can be on the internet. And if even one person who's not in the best situation sees a message that we have and can tell that we're all about this message and we're putting in the effort and work to show fruit from it, that might be enough. That literally might be enough. I'm not saying, go door to door knocking and no, don't do any of that. But if you have a message, if you have something you care about, if there's a cause that you care about, even let people know about it. The more people that know about, these hacks to wealth, the more people that know about how to be healthy and fit, the more people that know about, hey, we need to be in touch with ourselves and not worry about what everyone else thinks or, trying to compete with the Joneses, trying to keep up with the Joneses, the more people that'll be better for it. So I actually heard this quote once on one of my podcasts. I'll probably put a list of all the podcasts I watch in the description of this in a video on YouTube. But I believe it went along the lines of, who was it? Oh, how'd it go? It was saying that not sharing my knowledge, not sharing, my abilities with other people is selfish. It may have been wealth or something like that, but it was simple for the fact that, all right, I have all of this knowledge, I have these abilities, these skills, I am wealthy, and having it all for myself is just selfish. And I think what they're saying about that again is you need to share, you need to give back, because I think all of us would be more fulfilled if we could do what we enjoy doing and actually see that it impacts people. So maybe, I don't know, maybe like sewing or knitting or something. Like you make clothes for yourself, and someone compliments it. Someone wants to like get a commission a piece of clothing from you. You may be like, nah, I'm not really about it, but you may still be like, oh, okay, this person thinks what I do is cool. Hey, that might turn into something. It might not. It could even be just simple as like, all right, just being open and talking to people. Just feeling like, hey, introducing yourself, smiling, nodding at someone. Someone may be having a really bad day, and that may just help them from, that may just change their train of thought for the rest of the day, or it may even turn their life around because they're like, oh, I met you, and you might not have even known that you were impacting this individual. Okay, now I might have went off tangent. But yes, so this is kind of my world right now. It's I'm trying to grow and develop in all these areas, but I'm seeing that I can do it all at the same time. I really can. I just need to time manage, stick to my budget. Actually, now I need to change my budget because I want to start traveling now. I want to travel a couple times a year, so now I need to put some money automatically into another savings account, another high yield savings account, I might add, just for traveling expenses. So when I do need to buy a ticket or anything like that, I'm not looking in my main checking account going like, all right, my next paycheck's coming, or ooh, I just bought this with this paycheck. No, I have a separate account for it. I ain't got to worry about how my finances are looking right now. And that's kind of what I do with my stock investing and everything. Oh, right. I did say I was going to share with you all a mistake that I made in the last month. I opened up, I already had a Robinhood account, but I threw some extra money in there to start doing options. And even though I had spent maybe 4, 5, 6 months just learning about options, but I never actually like put a trade together. And it had been maybe about a month or two since, I had all this information fresh in my head. I kind of had the foundations, but not all the tips and tricks and things to look out for. I put a trade together, put an iron condor trade together on SPY, which is an ETF that follows the S&P 500. And I paper handed. The contract went negative within after a week and a few days. I took the loss, and and I realized afterwards, guess what? Had I not sold it, I'd be in the green right now. And guess how much money I lost in that one trade? I lost about 100, maybe somewhere between like 95 and like $110, $115 on that one trade in like a week and a half. But guess what? Out of that $500, $400, 80% of that portfolio was in one trade. Bad, Jay. And it was even 2 contracts. So the contracts were worth $200 a piece, and that's 2, so that's $400. That's terrible. Even if you're going to start doing day trading, options trading, whatever you want to do, you don't want to put 80% of your money in a single trade. Like, I knew that was bad going in, but I still did it because I was like, I know the strategy, I know what I'm doing. But then guess what? I forgot that, when the price moves near your short leg and when you sell options, the price increases. So whatever premium you got from selling that option is now worth more. So now you're losing money because you want to sell high, buy low, remember? And I was like, oh no. But guess what? With options, there's a time factor in it. So it's not like, oh, I made a trade and it dropped and then it's done. I mean, even if you day trade, you don't, if you buy and it drops, or you sell and it goes up, you don't have to exit the position yet. You have time to wait. Well, options, you have less time because you can't wait forever. But had I just waited, had I just trusted what I did, I would have been better off. But I got scared at looking at, the negative numbers when I shouldn't have. And technically, I should have probably refreshed myself on my notes before I even made that trade. So I lost a little over $100 in the last month. Technically, like the 2nd or 3rd week of March, I made that trade. And then the next week, I messed it up. So yeah, that's my bad. So if you guys want to take anything from me, if you're going to start doing short-term trading, definitely do like 5 to 10%, maybe 20% of your portfolio in each trade if you can. To be honest, I wanted to start with a different option strategy, but that would have required me putting somewhere between 1,500 and like 3 grand in the account. I wasn't ready for that yet, but I would have had less of a panic attack had I done that instead. But we'll see. I'm right now. I'm just kind of progressing through using different stocks, different tickers, different. Oh, goodness, my brain. I'm doing different options of. Sorry, I'm selling different types of options, different strategies. I even ended up rolling one of my options recently, and I was like, oh, not bad. I still paid a little bit of money, but the credit helped offset some of that negativity. But I really need to get in and start looking at the stock market again, because I've been trying to do all this content stuff. I've gotten a little dry on it, so I'm gonna get back to it. So I think that's really all I wanted to talk about today. And also, I'm trying not to do an hour-long podcast anymore. I'm trying to make them a little bit shorter, so some of you can probably stick to it a little bit longer. And then I'm just keep running them out. I'm trying to get back to a weekly schedule. I actually know how to edit my videos a lot quicker now, so I'll be able to get these out to you a bit better. And then if I go ghost you guys again, I will at least start uploading reels again to Instagram. I might do a TikTok account. We'll see. Let me know what you guys think about it. But anyway, if this episode helped you at all, if there's anything I say you agree with or don't agree with, hit me down in the comment section. If you want to go check out my Instagram, JayAbundant, same as the YouTube channel. But definitely, if you can, click the like button. Definitely appreciate the support. You can check out my podcast on Spotify, Google, iTunes, all that stuff as well. Those links will be down in the description as well. If you want to start investing on any of the mobile apps, those links are affiliate links. I do get, I might get some shares of stock, for if you sign up and do deposit money. But again, it's not affecting you guys at all. So you might even get a free stock too with me. Anyway, I want to thank you all for joining me on this wonderful episode number 4. Hope you all have a beautiful week. Be safe. Hopefully where you are is starting to get hot out, so be careful. Summertime is when people go a little crazy. But yeah, make sure you guys are staying in alignment with where you want to be in life. Look at your goals, look at the people around you, and then also look inside yourself as well. I want to thank you all once again. Have a good week. Bye.